ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kickin' with Tyree, hit it 3 like Kyrie.
All right, guys, this is Kickin' It With Tyree. I'm here with Max Hay from Now More Yes. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm happy to be here.
Hey, tell me about what was the spark for Now More Yes? What sparked that for you?
Well, I had known TW, the main subject of the film, for a pretty long time. He's been around the Milwaukee film scene, wrangling cars, among other things, shooting his own stuff. So I've already known him for a while, and it wasn't until I found out that he bought an ambulance with his boss's money while drunk at a bar. A couple nights later, I found out about that, and I was like, okay, so if this is tying into his professional life, if his creative life is blending with, his professional life and potentially messing it up, I feel like there might be a story there.
And then chaos immense,
Oh yeah, big time.
For you, how did you handle that chaos, and what was something that stood out for you while filming this?
It was a lot, and a lot of it is not in the movie. A lot of the chaos, like the deepest, darkest moments that he went through, a lot of that wasn't captured in scenes, really. It was just stuff that was gathered. If I saw him out somewhere at a bar, I'd pull my phone out, or someone else would get footage of him. So those really, dark times ended up being, I kind of didn't want to push a camera in his face for a lot of it, even though he welcomed it despite that. So navigating it for me, I guess, was, trying to find that line between filmmaker and friend, and not, try not to cross any boundaries on either end of that. Through all of this, I still don't claim to be a shooter. Yeah. Despite having directed a documentary, I'm more like an editor at heart than a shooter. So yeah, there were some reshoots on this for sure.
Hey, and sometimes you have to do that. For you, as this is your first time directing a documentary?
Yes.
As a first-time director, what were some obstacles you had just making sure everything went according to plan?
I mean, it was super run and gun. I might have to think on that one for a second. I mean, I guess the obstacle is that, TW, the main subject in my film, he's like this 24/7. This is his life. He works as a car salesman. He flips cars on the side. He does art related to cars. He does music. He's always got something going on that is relevant. And I think the biggest obstacle was trying to figure out how to make sure I got everything that would be good for the movie, when really I could have had a camera rolling on him. I could still have a camera going on him, and there'd probably be another movie. So I guess it's just figuring out when to start and when to stop recording. Otherwise, I'd have a huge mess. And then a lot of that battle between pursuit of creative passion versus financial stability, which is covered a lot in the film. That's something that I kind of went through while doing it too. I couldn't work on the movie full time, and that's something I like to say. I'm probably a year behind him. Just after making the thing, I'm ready for my big what's it called, downward spiral. I'm on my way.
Oh man, and I feel like that's a tug and pull with all creatives. Where do we draw the line? Of creative pursuit and financial stability. And for me, my only line is the bills. If my bills are paid, any other money past that, I will put it towards projects, I'll put it towards this. But once those bills are paid, that's my line, like
keep the lights on.
If I can keep the lights on, I might even take a month off on a bill. You never know. I'll pay it next month.
Try a new credit card.
Just store it on the credit card, and then I'll pay the credit card the following month, but it's just that's the toughness of like being a creative, is just like finding that balance of, making sure everything still stays a course, but you also don't want to go on that downward spiral either, where you're like, damn, sometimes like you have no choice but to go on that downward spiral. That's the only choice of getting the outcome. But
there's madness at the end of both.
Yeah.
Financial stability, that gets really boring.
Yeah. And then you're like, your life isn't as exciting because you're not doing your creative passions.
Exactly.
And you could be doing creative passions for work, but it starts to feel like work. And then it's not like what you want to do. It's like more you're doing it for a company or a client, or, and trying to mix both is hard. But using your gifts to make money sometimes ends up not fulfilling,
Yeah, and it's almost harder sometimes. Yeah. If I'm like working on my movie and then I'm editing some client work, and it's like it's like the same skill set, but it almost feels like the inverse of making art. Yeah,
because I don't know. I said this to someone one time, and I said I don't. It was one day it came to me where I couldn't. It was like I couldn't care about making money with my art anymore, And I was just like, I don't know. Maybe it was just like a sign, and it was just like, don't care about that. And since that day, it was like 2018 or something like that. Since that day, I've never tried to mix them both. Like, if I make money doing it, great. But I've never tried to be like, okay, this is my passion. I need to make $5 million off this,
Yeah, then we wouldn't do anything, probably.
So, for you, being a Milwaukee, based creative filmmaker, what does it mean to you to have your film now? It already has been at South by. How does it feel to have it premiere now at Milwaukee Film Festival?
Awesome. It's been a long time coming, and I've been more excited about this screening or these screenings than any other, because I know Milwaukee's going to love it. At least the people who buy tickets, I think they'll have a really good time.
Okay. As a Milwaukee filmmaker, what does the Cream City grind mean to you? Because we have a different type of, I don't want to say like lifestyle here as filmmakers, because we have to wear so many hats. Like, we have to be the shooters, we have to be the grip, we have to be the PA, just to get our projects made. So what does that mean when you hear Cream City?
Might have to edit that pause out. I'm trying to speak in a positive way. I'm trying to find a funny way to express that and not just sound like annoyed that, like, okay, what snacks do you have on your floor? That's lunch today type situations, But I don't know. I guess Cream City Cream City cinema kind of rings as, authenticity. And not to say that other things aren't authentic. It's just I'm from Milwaukee, and I've been a part of this for a while, and I just, it's the thing I know the closest as far as like a vibe of fuck. Let me think.
It's a rough question.
Yeah, I got the tough ones. But yeah, when I think Cream City, I think authentic. Just situations I've been in as a filmmaker, or like working on set on other stuff. It just kind of goes without saying that people are working on these films because they really want to, and not for anything else, because, you know, if there was a Cream City project that, you know, was offering good pay, you know,
we'd all be on it.
We'd all be working on it.
Trust me, we'd all be fighting for that position, because we love it. We just love what we're doing. You know, a lot of people here, and I think that's the number one difference. Is like, we do it because we love it. It's not necessarily putting all the money in our pocket. You know, it's giving us opportunity to, you know, get out the city and do more things. Especially if your film does well, but it's not putting all the money in our pockets right away. You know, we're not on set every single day. We're trying to be, but we're also working, doing other things, other jobs, other odd jobs to, you know, make that happen.
Yeah, we want these films to exist, and I think most of us enjoy working with most of us, and you know, kind of know what we're getting into. And I think there's a beauty in that, despite it, you know, having its rough edges. Yeah,
I remember being on, like, a couple years ago when I was, like, doing more set work. I was, like, on 4 sets in a row where it was the same crew. And I was like, oh, this is nice, you know, it felt like we were a working crew, you know, like, where we weren't, you know, switching up that many people. I might meet a new person, like, here and there, but it was like mostly the same people, mostly the same grip team, mostly the same DP.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool, you know. It was like, all right, maybe this in the future when we have more money, there's a team, there's people here, there's a team to get bigger productions done.
Sure.
At that note, I'm going to end off with, what was a film that got you or gave you the love for film, you know?
I think the first movie I saw that inspired me, like, gave me the thought that I could, you know, potentially be a filmmaker, was the original Toxic Avenger movie. I don't know if you saw that. It's
I saw the new one.
Okay, the new one's pretty fun. But yeah, you know, that wasn't out when I was a kid, and, you know, seeing the original one, you know, it doesn't really, like, I'm not advising people to watch it. You know, a lot of it kind of doesn't, it's kind of a touch, there's a lot of touchy subjects in it that are kind of played off as jokes in it, so I wouldn't recommend it necessarily to whoever's watching this video. But the playfulness with violence and comedy, and it seemed you could almost see them making it in the special effects, and I thought that was the first time I saw a movie and didn't fall for every special effect. And that's where I was like, actually, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm seeing these guys make the movie, and they're not doing a terrible job, but I can tell that that's not a real head getting squashed. And, you know, that's the moment I was like, okay, maybe I could do that.
Mine was Casino. So in the first scene of Casino, where Robert De Niro is walking in and he gets in the car, you see the dummy change, and that's when I first noticed that as a kid. Cause I used to watch Mob Week all the time, and all the Scorsese movies would be on, and that was the first time I noticed it in his film, and I was like, oh, you don't have to be perfect to make a film, and then I was like, oh, it's just about the story, and that was like, all right, I can make films, you know. Especially when I saw that dummy change, I was like, wait, I had to rewind it a couple times.
I know. I can't help but rewind it every time I see that, too.
I was like, oh, yeah, like that must have been like, he kept that in for a reason, I feel like, because he could have just cut it quicker. He could have done it, you know, but he kept it in.
It's almost a fuck you, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I can say that in this, but it's like, it's almost like, you know, I'm going to add an extra frame or two of this dummy because fuck them, they're in the theater, they can't rewind it. And then if they want to, you know, rewind it when they watch it at home later, well, they bought the tape. And, and you know, that's their problem at that point.
Yeah, and the mistakes are cool, you know. And, again, I want to thank you for kicking it with me, man.
For sure.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Kicking It With Tyree, my boy Max. You guys have a good rest of your day.
Ducked off low key, yeah, you know me. Kick it with Tyree, hit it 3 like Kyrie.